How long did you stay down south of Wainwright? You think? A couple of years probably, huh?
Yeah, we stayed there 2 years. South of Wainwright.
Then what did you hear about? What made you move? What made you move all this time?
Well, just looking for greener grass.
He just was satisfied and he'd see hear something somewhere else.
Well, there's always somebody wanting to rent him a place, see, because they know he's a hard worker. And there's always somebody.
Your dad just let him talk him into moving, would he?
Somebody just had another place over there that they wanted him on.
Well, how many acres now? Exactly where was his place now? We're going to talk about out northeast of Wainwright. Where was this? Where the log cabin was?
We was right north of Wainwright that time.
Well, how many miles?
Well, it's about a mile and a half out there, wasn't it?
You know, you walked down that railroad track.
Yes.
Well, you know where that curve is? It comes up there before you turn to go towards Grandpa's?
Yes.
About a quarter of a mile, right straight north.
North of
West.
the Atkinson's old place up on the hill?
Huh?
North of Atkinson's old homestead
Oh,
up on the hill.
no.
Well, it was not, you know where his old place was, don't you? Well, it was, let's see now.
No, it's way different to that.
No, the hand is, Atkinson's old place was just about halfway up there, but ours was on
the left.
Ours was right straight east of, straight north of Wainwright, and his place was a little northeast.
Mm-hmm. Well, then you was over on the other side of the track.
Yeah, we was on the other side of the track.
West side of the track.
Yeah, from Grandpa's old place. Now, from Buster's place, one year I farmed that stuff all down along the railroad there, plumb down well, and on east of the railroad too. I had some stuff over there. They cut a corner off the 40 over there. And, well, you went up that railroad track till you got to, well, you know where Charlie Newell is now, where his old place is. Well, just a mile west of there. Hardly a mile, was it? No, just half a mile. Half a mile west. First place after you cross the railroad there, right up in the field. I keep more this way to north, and that's north over there.
Now, you go around that curve going up Grandpa's, there's back west, about a quarter of a mile up in the field.
Well, we did farm that land right down again that too.
Yeah, I know it, but the log cabin is up there.
And there was a log cabin on that place, huh? We broke out about, we used to break out lots of new land, but that was a good part of it, though. You got the gravy off of it when you broke it out about the first 2 or 3 years.
Well, did they have a well on this place?
Yeah, there's no well there, but boy, the water's hard. To drink it, we drink it. Like that wells up around Vester's there, you know, I wasn't no good for
now, but then you had, you must have had some kind of stoves to cook on of some sort, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Some cast iron stoves of some sort.
Iron stoves there.
The stove pipes.
Yeah. So they began to get
kind of begin to move along now.
Well, we began to get them stoves.
And old iron bedsteads, I suppose, about this time too, showed up, didn't they?
After we come into Indian territory, well, they began to buy stoves then, you know.
Yeah, about these bedsteads, old iron bedsteads probably showed up.
Yeah, some of them, they showed up too.
Get them old iron bedsteads, $2.50 and $3.
Well, did they have any springs at that time, or did the springs come later?
You was able to buy them, they did, cheap ones.
It wasn't worth nothing for that.
No.
Not like that now.
No, but I mean,
they began to come into that
old stuff, mattresses of some sort, then started showing up, huh?
No, I think they had mostly straw ticks from then on in there, and then put feather beds on top of them. They all had feather beds in there.
So, how long do you think you was there? Well, several years, I guess he was there.
Over 2 or 3 years.
But this is where you
I'd
met
say
mother
3
about
years.
this
Now
time?
that's where I quit farming there.
Well, now wait a minute now. How old was you here?
Well, I was about, I was probably,
20?
let's see now. Well, I was 20 years old then, anyhow, wasn't I?
21, I imagine. 21, I think, and I got acquainted with you.
Yeah, 'cause we went together.
Well, now this is where you met mother. When you lived out there.
Yeah, no. Old Grandma Young, I think she is the main cause of us getting hitched in together like we did. I think about that a lot of times. She'd come over and bring Leonie over there, you know.
Went down to your place?
Yeah.
She visited then.
Oh, yeah.
She was able to get around pretty good then.
Oh, yeah. She could get around.
Arthritis hadn't got
She
her
could
down.
walk over to our place, couldn't she?
Oh, yeah. When she.
And she and Ma visited?
Oh, yeah. We'd go up there and have dinner with them once in a while. I remember one time I went down the field there when we lived on this place one Thanksgiving morning now, and seen a bunch of geese light down the cornfield. I went down there, got them lined up, you know. I couldn't tell where they was at. Corn are big and high. And I just kept going down through there, and the first thing I know, geese got up all around me. And I killed 3 of them geese. And we took them on up to Grandpa's, and they all flew in there, and they knocked the feathers off of them and cooked them all. And yeah, so there's a heck of a bunch of yuns, and there was us too. We just all ate them up.
Well, where was you going to school then? You haven't told about. You got some education.
I didn't have no school, you might say.
Well, I thought you got to go a little 2 or 3 years.
No, I went a little in Arkansas, about all right.
Oh, before you actually moved out.
Yeah. Yeah, I never got no school, Fred.
Well, you learned to read then just before you left Arkansas, huh?
Well, no, I just gradually took it up all the way through. I didn't get no schooling. That's one thing I didn't get.
You didn't get? Well, somewhere you learned to read and write.
Well, yeah, I know it.
You had to learn that somewhere.
Just had to learn that myself.
Well, did you just practice on your own, you think?
Yeah, just on my own, that's all.
Nobody could help you?
Nobody ever taught me a thing.
Ma and Pa couldn't help you, could
Oh,
they?
Mom could help pretty good if she would, but she wouldn't do
Had
it.
she had any kind of schooling at all, you think?
And she was always afraid that I'd, see, she done all of Dad's, what little bookwork he had, like Mother had always done for me. Why, that's all we had. And Mom could, if she'd let us went to school, we could have went to school quite a little. We could have went to school in Arkansas for quite a while. But after I got out to the Indian Territory, why, it was the Florida schools then, and you had to go through some cattle ranch or get there some way, and you couldn't go through them cattle ranches. You know, as kids would have to stay around the house, or they'd get us. And so that way, why, they was just easy for them to get by, you see, and not set the stall. Ma was always afraid he'd come up a cloud, or we'd get a black eye or something while I was there fighting. She was always scared to death I'd get in a fight with somebody.
She's always
beat that into your head all the time that you'd get beat up. You'd get beat up. Trying to make you afraid of somebody. They try to get you to hold your own, you know. Now, that's funny that anybody get that way, and now they never say nothing to kids about fighting. I know one time when I was going to school, this boy there, he wanted to run over all the boys. He's just, well, he's a pretty good sized boy. He's way bigger than us kids was. And I know one evening where we had a rock fight, and I almost took me right out of school over that. I was giving him good as he sent, you see, and finally run him off. Didn't have to run from him. There's one thing I didn't do, but she found that out, and boy, I wasn't about to be throwing rocks at nobody anymore. Getting my head knocked off. I remember Richard Tucker when he, that's the first I ever went to knowing much about liquor. And he always, I guess he'd always wanted to drink. And took after his uncle, and so Grandpa had a good mule he'd raised. He was probably 2-year-old. But he's a great big, tall mule. And Richard took him to ride. And they bought him a new saddle, you know. So one night, that's the year we left Arkansas. I guess he's 18 years old. And so one night, well, we heard a man hollering, you know, somewhere. And we didn't know where it was at. Everybody was up a listening, you know. Finally, a guy come up to the yard and told Dad, he says, Richard's down yonder, and says you've got to go down and get him, get that mule. Says I can't get to him. Says he's got his foot hung in the stirrup. Just a young mule. Says he's laying there on the ground, and says that mule is standing there looking at him, and says he won't run off. But says you can't get to him. Says, you know, if you start to him, you'll try to drag him off, and he'll get to running with him. So we went down there, and I remember going down there with an old lantern, you know, Dad and Ma's are crying, you know. And Dad just went up to that mule and talked to him a minute, and the old mule kind of wanted to sigh off a little bit, you know. He was just a young mule. If one hadn't killed him, I don't see how heck hadn't killed him. And I talked to the old mule a while, and pretty soon he got hold of the reins and just ungirded the saddle and let the saddle fall off on Richard, and he led the mule out there and tied him up to a bush. That's all there was to it. He tried to get his foot out of that stirrup, probably the mule had got away from him too, and they kicked him probably, and kicked Richard to death. But that's something that they never could figure out. That mule was wild now, and he just wouldn't drag that. He just wouldn't leave that man, you see, after that. And after that, Richard just drunk from then on. Just drank everything he could get.
Was he the only one of the Tuckers that wanted to drink like that?
Well, he was the only one that was. He's the only boy that was.
Oh, I thought there's others.
No, he raised a bunch of boys, but one of them got killed there in Tulsa, and some fella knocked him down. Fell down while his head hit the curb, you know, off the sidewalk on the curb, and busted his head and killed him. Richard, and that's the way that Ledbetter now, Ma's brother, Richard's uncle. Ma's uncle. They always called him Dick, you see, and that guy's name was Dick Ledbetter. Called Richard Dick, Richard Tucker, and they called him Dick. And he just like him. They said he'd Ledbetter. They said he'd get drunk and he'd find some old man on all old men wore a mustache and goatees then, you know. The goatees hang down here about like this. And some of them keep them trimmed off, you know, just a sharp bunch there, and some of them would. My Grandpa McCawley, Grandpa Tucker always wore little goatees, but Grandpa McCawley would bring his out like this, and they would go down there. He'd stick them under his belt. And there's this big old wide.
One from the north and the other's from the south. They wouldn't have anything to do with one another.
They wouldn't.
Oh no, they never have nothing to do with that.
Oh, I see. One from the north, one from the south.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they was awful. That's the reason they would have none of the folks would never have nothing to do with one another.
Oh, I see.
That's always something they
How do you think Ma and Pa ever got together then?
That's what I want to know. I didn't figure that out.
One's Republicans and the other's Democrats.
Greg, didn't they leave a light on out yonder?
When they
very big people,
The Tuckers, or
no, it's shining through the window, ain't it?
Not now, Dad.
were they
What
all
is that
kind of
out
small
there?
people?
Oh, that's the blind she's got down. Do what?
Were they large people, or were they kind of small people, the Tuckers?
They's all small. Grandpa Tucker, he just a little man.
So that's where the smallness
He
came.
was little, and all the family was little. Richard was a fair-sized man. I was just thinking about now when we was back there at Alpha's, she took us over to Richard one night, hunted him up, and as soon as I got there, now there he was 80 some years old then, 82 I think then.
Something like that.
And boy, you wanna know if I wanted to drink right as soon as I went in there. He just make you think of Shorty Jones the way he talked. And no, he said, don't you want something to drink? And I said, no, we don't want nothing to drink. I never drank anything just like that. I just come out the door and I said, I never drank anything. And so after a while we got ready to go. Now he says, I don't feel right not taking a drink or something. He says, I'll send down there and get something to drink.
You can get some pop, nothing else.
Yeah, he said, I'll get some pop right now. I said, something to drink. So we went on.
Well, now how about these McCawleys? Were they any of them large, or were they short and heavy set?
No, they was just like you boys almost. That is, Uncle Doc, you remember him. He was short and chuffy. But George and Tom and Ted, they was all taller. Of course, how tall Dad was. They're all good sized men though, they was. Grandpa McCawley, he was my size anyhow, or a little bigger. Well, I get to studying Fred long about them times. I just wonder how them old people ever did. How many of them ever left there, that old country over there. Now, there's some of them stayed there. There's some of them, I know that Tom was telling me that there's a bunch of them, the Smiths. They got married into the McCaulleys, and Grandpa and them, boy, listen, they was Republicans, you see, and he didn't like Republicans. I'm telling you, he's really hot. And I don't reckon he ever voted. Boy, he had that argument, and they would.
Let's see.
Put it half around like that.
And
see? Yeah, it looks like a parrot.
If you ever passed him and didn't speak to him, he figured that you sprayed him with a dog.
Spray it some
Boy,
pretty
he'd
color.
take after you.
You put
He would, yeah.
then one of those
If he seen a man, he always want to speak to him. As soon as he seen him,
stick up
you see.
in and stick it down
Got
in
it.
there.
How are
And
you?
then having the metal thing going into her
But
like
if you
that.
passed him and didn't speak to him, boy, he's on
and
to you. He just
And
balls
with
you
those
out,
little
I mean,
wings
and
like this way out
call
from
you
her,
everything,
the
maybe.
wings.
Just go crazy.
Like fairy. And put
And I seen him one time when I was up there
foil
in
on those, colored foil.
Missouri.
Yeah,
I stayed
put,
with his son-in-law,
Paper like this.
Uncle
With
Bill
orange
Holder.
cardboard in from the
For a
edge.
while, and,
That's what's going to be the wings.
this Dave Smith, they lived just down the road about a quarter.
It'll be pretty.
Both of them owned their farms.
Got home.
Grandpa went down by there one time, and old Dave just turned his head off, wouldn't speak to him. His son-in-law too, and boy, he just took his old cane and he run him all over that place nearly. He couldn't catch him, but that's all he had. If he had a gun, he'd shot him.
Was he kind of hot-headed?
Yeah, he wasn't that way if he didn't speak to him, you see. He thought you ought to be friendly with a man when you met him. He thought all men ought to be that way.
Dad, did you know that a water moccasin would chase a man to water to the ground? Anywhere, almost. So they'll give him a good run for his life. Sit right in this book. Dad.
Well, when you broke away from there, you say you went sharecropping on your own then? When you left Pa?
When I quit, no, I went to work for Cumberland's then. I was working for him when me and Mother was born together, and after we got married, I worked for him. I worked for him 8 years then.
Now, where's Cumberledge from? Oklahoma?
No, Cumberland's, he was from Iowa.
Well, where was he residing? Where was his home?
Well, in Wainwright.
Oh,
You know where old Tom Jones lived when you was up there?
yes.
Well, old Cumberland's place was just across the street.
Okay.
And did Tom have a big barn over there? He had a barn over there, didn't he? You remember that?
Yeah, he had something over there.
Well, that's where the place was, just off down that hillside there.
Yeah.
There's a house set on the corner there.
And it had burned, hadn't it? I think it's.
And we worked there. He worked me and Shorty Jones and Earl Jones and Luther Miller.
Okay.
This Carl Miller is the boy. Dad. And there's 4 single boys worked there for him.
Well, he had all this land out there.
Yeah, and then
Wow.
Dad and
How do you think he acquired this land?
Dad and old Bill Barrett and John Barrett.
I'll tell you what kind of
There's 4 single boys and three of them married men working for them all at the same time.
What was they doing? Baling hay and one thing?
Well, they done everything. Bale hay and thrash. Well, we didn't have a thrashing machine, but he grew plenty of oats and stuff like that.
Where do you suppose this man got all this land?
Well, he didn't own that land. He had it rented. All land he had there. He went to Montana though, and R.A. Young went with him. Now R.A. was working most of that time too, wasn't he?
Well, when you worked there, he was.
That's foreman.
And this man come in there with a lot of money, and he thought he could make money farming
I went
in there.
down there, me and Mother, after we got married. We got married in April. Did we go down there that fall, didn't we? To the sawmill camp? He went off down there southeast of Henrietta in the pine woods on the Canadian River down there, and they bought him and his brother bought 2,300 acres down there, right in them hills. And then they bought a new sawmill and brought it in there and sawed all the pine off of it. Lots of pine there. We went down there and stayed that winter.
You and Mom was married then.
Yeah. We got married in April and went down there in the fall.
Now, where'd you two get married?
We got married at Council Hill. You went
Stood
there,
up with
you know where the main corner was there in Council Hill. Well, we went a block north,
I mean, from
west.
the railroad station. Where was it from the railroad station?
Well, on up in town. You know where the main block was in town, don't you?
Well, I don't really know.
Across the street
What
there.
you call it.
Well, you know where Mr. Woods lives.
Yeah.
Well,
These
then
stores
about 2
up.
blocks from him up in town with
I imagine or 3, something like
and then
that.
we went a block north and about a block west. A block west and I'll get it right quickly. Block north and a block west. And that's where the preacher lived there. And Jim and Bertha, they got ready to get, no, that before that they got married, wasn't it? They got married
Yeah, they
before
married
that.
before we did.
But they wanted a preacher that lived over right the southeast corner of Council Hill. Me and Mother went with them. At the southeast corner of Council Hill and across the road on the south side. Well, when they took the license and went out there, they didn't think nothing about what they just going out and get married. Place that they had to go back out across the road, across the center of the road and marry them out there, right now in open.
Muskogee County.
Yeah, in Muskogee County, you see. But your license wasn't good anywhere else in the county.
I have an idea that old man probably was some kin to Pauline's folks.
I have an idea what too.
Her granddad probably.
Now, did she have a granddad as a preacher?
Mm-hmm.
She did.
But why did you say now you're down there? I still haven't figured out why you down there on Council Hill.
Well, that's where we went. We know that preacher, you see, and that's the reason why I went down there to get married.
How'd you know a preacher down there? I mean,
Well, he'd been up to So Ethan and Grandpa and Leon and them all knowed him. And
Oh, I see.
I didn't know him very well, but
I see.
what was his name?
Parks.
Parks. And his dad was a preacher too, wasn't he?
His father-in-law was.
Father-in-law. Oh, did they live? They lived there together, didn't they?
I think their father-in-law was with him there a while.
I think it was the day we got married.
Yeah, I don't think so, but he didn't live there, so.
Well, now, where was you living when you got married?
Well, I was staying there at Cumberledge, and Leonie was staying. When I got married, why, we first went to Jim Hobbs and stayed a week, didn't we? Then we bought our furniture. You know where Buster Brown lives, where his home is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the first house we ever lived in, right there.
You rented one there.
The two front rooms there, and a kitchen and a bedroom. There's two rooms in the house, probably about 14 by 28.
That's all there was then.
Mm.
And that's all there was to it. So they built on the back of it after that, but we lived in that until we went to Sawmill Camp, and then we went to Sawmill Camp and stayed at till the next spring, farming time come, why he shut the mill down. And then brought us all back home, and then we went to work there, and so we got a house right down, you know where the old lady Julian's name, down right down Main Street. We crossed that little creek down there, and just on that side of the road. I don't guess you'd ever remember that road that used to go down through there and then go out.
Where was this? This was on past the church, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
we
down.
went across that little holler.
There used to be the Bell Telephone headquarters down there.
That's where Schuler's, Martin's had that telephone office.
So you went on
Yeah,
past
went
that.
on across that.
Went on up a
And
hillside
getting up on the hill pretty good. And you remember there used to be a big old hay barn over there? You remember that old hay barn? We was on that side of the road. Cumberledge had that.
Yeah.
Well, we
There
didn't
was
rent
lots
off
of
to him.
houses over there then.
There were.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of a new addition they started in there.
See, now when I came along, there's all gone.
That you bought us a lot over in there.
Over there, and
Was that kind of sorry land up through there? Is that kind of?
oh, that one time was the best land that was around there.
Is that right?
Yeah, red dirt.
But I remember the color. That's why I was wondering. I didn't know where it was.
But Dad boarded and lived there at Cumberledge about
We bought a
3
we bought
years
a lot
before
there.
we
We
was
bought us
married.
a lot there. We never put no house on it. We drilled a well on it. I drilled a well, and
Well, what happened? Right? Did fire get in there and just wipe a bunch of them out? You think, or what happened?
no, I don't know what happened to them. We've been out there so much, you know. I don't know what happened to them.
Well, they was gone whenever I was a
There was
baby.
one,
They
two,
weren't there then. I know that.
There's 4 or 5 houses over there.